Okay, we're going to, before we, finally, I'm in a place where there's no background noise. Hopefully this will be a much clearer video. We're going to put things like a target, debt leverage, and a target DSCR. Okay, and when we do that, by the way, of course, stop saying that. We will put these assumptions in a different page, but we won't do that until we're kind of just about finished. And so the DSCR covenant, which is down here, and then we'll put the debt leverage, okay, and we'll put a little spinner box around there. And we're also going to put an equity bridge loan, and we're going to see what the effects of capitalizing the interest are. So before we start, optimizing this, where we're going to have to put, we're going to have a leverage constraint. That means we can't get the 70% leverage to get that. Now, after we do that, the interesting part will be to try to structure an O&M contract and see kind of how that works, okay? And I think let's put capitalized. I don't know if it's important enough to do. Or we could put project funding, pro rata. Okay, and we can kind of put this in just to illustrate how we'll do that. We'll put this in, and then you can copy this to here. Okay, and we can see what happens. Uh-oh. Okay, let's fix that. Did we make the fatal error of not going from page to page? Oh. Okay. Copy that. Okay. Now, when we do this whole optimization, it's going to be a little tricky with all that. So that's the difference in funding. And they both say the models. We have to press the button each time. That's going to be a pain too. So we're going to have to put this in, to put it in, to revise it. Okay, now before we do that, let's go down and deal with the first part of this, which was, where did we put capitalized interest? Oh, capitalized interest. I hope we did the same thing here. Okay, so let's put it true for a minute. Now, if we capitalize the interest, it's going to be a little bit tricky here. Okay, the first thing is the fees, the interest during construction is no longer actually paid, so that's not part of our funding needs. But we got to be really careful with that, because we still got to keep track of it. Okay, so what we do is put if, this is fees during construction. Okay, so we should put that down here. So what we do, if this is true, F4, then put 0, then, okay, so we turn it off. We don't pay any interest during construction. Now, up here, the IDC, I hope, is still positive. That's good. Okay, that's good. We want it still to be positive there. Now, when we go to the debt schedule here, the capitalized interest, okay, let's put this true up here again. So what we do is take the IDC, the capitalized interest, and multiply it by the switch. Whoops, what happened? Okay, I'm going to save this, and then the debt goes up. Now here's the problem, we didn't pay off the correct amount of debt. We're going to have to do some thinking about this one. Okay, so far that's okay. Now, the first thing, we better make sure that we did add it in. Okay, and okay, just a minute. I'm going to pause it for a minute. I have to think through this for just. Okay, I think here's what we have to do. We have to put a little thing for capitalized interest down at the bottom of the sources and uses statement, and then we find the switch. Okay, and then we say, okay, well, let's multiply this by the capitalized interest, the IDC. So it's going to be nothing, of course. And then we put debt funding. Now that debt that we actually can borrow excludes, so we have to take the total debt we have minus the debt funding. Okay, and then this debt funding, we have to be careful when we look at the pro rata thing. This debt funding is reduced by the, and oh, shit, why is that just a minute. We have to, we're going to have another circular reference in this case, and I don't think that's that surprising. Shit, because this is fixed. So what we're going to have to do is put an equal sign and get the computed IDC, and put a 35,000 here, and then we'll put the difference as this. Whoops, 335,000. Okay, and put a difference. So we can. I'm going to put this. Okay. I'll just put it fix IDC computed IDC and difference IDC. Now remember, what we do here is press Shift Control F3. I hope I'm not making kind of a conceptual flaw. I don't think I am. I think there are two problems here. And then when we have this, we have a total difference. Okay, which is this one plus this one, and I'm going to call this total. Okay. And well, even if I have it wrong, this demonstrates why you can't really use a goal seek. You have to go round and around, copy this, copy that, and make it go around until the total difference is not equal to 0. So we can go to this and assign the macro and press edit. So this time we instead of this one, we put total, and we say and then we also do the fix IDC, and we have the computed IDC. Okay. I'm a little bit afraid because the last thing you want to do is include more things in the circular reference than you need to. If there was perhaps a more elegant way to do it, and then we get it all resolved. Okay, and the model is still okay. Okay, so that's the okay, that's the interest capitalization. Now let's also put a equity bridge loan in here. Okay, and I don't do that very often. Okay, but I think it might be worth showing how that would work. Okay, and some people might say this equity bridge loan is outside of the whole project, so it's not really related to the project. Now, if it creates an interest during construction, apparently, from what I understand from Hernandez, I think that that's included in the IDC. So let's put an equity bridge loan, and let's put apply loan. So we'll be able to either include it or exclude it, and we'll just use the regular old true, and we'll go to our little and we put equity. I don't know why. I don't know why that works. That I can't type it properly. Somebody probably could tell me that. Okay, so we go back to this one and just click on the true. That's our standard back and forth. Okay. Now let's put a maturity, and it could be all sorts of different maturities, but I'm gonna to just so you really understand how this works, we can put this as the maturity of the loan. So we have to repay the loan, and then when we repay the loan, we're going to have to issue some new equity. Okay, and then let's put the interest rate on the loan. And how about, I'm going to put this as 8%. I think that's probably completely unrealistic, because apparently market rates are higher than that, but I want to illustrate how it might work. Okay, and why don't we press Shift Control C? Okay, now, okay. Then we really, I think, if it wasn't for a little bit of a tax effect, we could put opening balance, add the draws for the loan, and less the repayment, and then closing balance, and then we put interest rate, interest expense on bridge loan. Okay, and then now then we can put equity cash flows with bridge loan. And what we do is okay, and the first thing I guess to do that is we put equity. We didn't call them equity. What did we call them? What's the good name for equity? Not equity contributions. I think we called them equity funding. Why don't we put equity funding over a construction period? Okay, so we start by doing this. We just simply go to the equity funding, which we put right here. Okay, and we can multiply that by the construction period, so shift control R. So we're not gonna, that development period equity funding you still have to make, okay? And then this is a shock that the opening balance equals the closing balance, and the draws we'll just get all our equity funding, and then for the repayment let's put an equal sign, go up to the assumptions. I think you might be able to see, if you set up the assumptions in a highly structured and logical way, that doesn't have to, that's kind of extreme to say that, but because that's not that complicated. We have 3 different things, and you put an equal sign and you go to the date, and then you multiply that by the opening balance of the loan plus anything we've done. Now I've got to put a bracket, whoops, here, okay, and then we can get our closing balance as the opening balance plus the draws minus the repayment. Now our interest rate will go up to the top, and get our final assumption. But as usual, we'll divide that by how many periods we have for this, and then okay, and then we'll put the original equity cash flows and then we put a go up to those equity cash flows that we did before, okay, and then we can put, after we get this one, we can add the amount we draw from this, and then subtract the amount we repay, And since we capitalized all the interest, it's all not a big deal. Okay. I thought I pressed Shift Control R. So now what we have is, whoops, equity cash flows. I don't know why so we still have a negative here, but then we have nothing over here, and instead we have a big negative cash flow here. So we've just pushed it forward, but we also have to pay all the also have to pay all the interest on the bridge loan. Okay. And now let's just see. So if we put equity IRR, we can put X IRR and put the bridge loan in, and click on this one, and it made an enormous difference, I think. Shift Control P. We used to have a IRR of, no, it didn't make that much, 15 to 17, okay? And finally, well, let's put real equity cash flows. With the bridge loan. Okay, now, I think if you make your model structured, I really do kind of believe this. A few things. Adding something like this is not nearly as complicated. First time I heard a bridge loan, I thought, oh no, I can't do that. That sounds too complicated. Oh, it's too complicated. Too complicated. I can't ever do that. Okay, but it's not that bad. Now the other thing we just have to think about is then let's put real equity IR with bridge loan. Okay, and we can put equal IRR. And now the most interesting issue with the bridge loan is, should that be, oops, of course I did something wrong here. NHE NHE. Why did I do that wrong? Well, maybe it's because I didn't X. Okay. Shift Control P. And you know, of course, if we put a different interest rate on the bridge loan, we'll have a whole different answer to this. Maybe not that different, but the final thing we need to put in is the, I think we should do this one. Now, the question is, on the balance sheet right now, should we leave this balance sheet in, or put the equity bridge loan as part of the balance sheet? And if we put the equity bridge loan in, we'd add another line here for equity bridge loan, and apparently they do include this equity bridge loan. Okay, and then so we should put that closing balance of the loan. Okay, and then of course it doesn't balance, but this if we change the equity contributions to the equity contributions, well, I suppose we just put the let's put let's be a little more transparent. Maybe we put equity contributions with bridge loan. Okay, and so we take our original equity contributions, which are right here, and then we subtract any amount we've drawn on the equity bridge loan. And then we add, oops, sorry, and then we add the amount that we have to contribute when we repay the loan, okay? Okay, so we have no contributions until we get to this stage. So now we can change the equity contributions to this one. Okay. Okay, and then we have nothing here. Oops, and there's our big equity bridge loan. And I hope you know what to do right now. You go, true, 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 true. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, the balance sheet balances. Oh, man. Oh, that feels so good. Okay. There, the balance sheet balances. Now, we should, the only other thing we probably should do, it shouldn't balance. Oh, shit. You know, here's why it shouldn't balance. This interest, well, I guess the interest is kind of out of the equation. What do we do with the interest? The interest should have increased the size of the loan. Why did that? It shouldn't have balanced. I shouldn't have got so excited about that, because the equity bridge loan goes up by the interest as well as the... Just think about this for a minute. By there should have been a difference. Did I send that? Okay. Now I'm a little worried, but let's go and do what we should do anyway. Up here we should put add. We can put another plus. Okay. IDC on the bridge loan. Okay. And all we do is go down and get that interest from our okay. Okay, now I think when we do this, the balance sheet won't balance. And that should have made it balance. And then we depreciate all of that. So now I'm going to get just as sad as I was happy, because here it doesn't balance. But so I think I must have done something wrong on the... Oh, yeah, the IDC balance includes the interest on the loan. Okay, I'm going to just have to stop and think about this for just a minute. Okay, well, you know, I did make a mistake. That's hard to believe. Okay. add the capitalized interest. Okay. Now when we did this, now how much did the equity bridge loan really help? 15 to 16. Okay, a little bit. Of course, if let's change the interest rate to a more 15.71, 16.48. So it did help. So, and let's make sure that now we're really excited, because now the balance sheet is balancing. And why don't we put equity IRR here, and we can put that with the bridge loan. And I think maybe we can put why don't we put a insert? Okay. Equity without bridge loan. I don't think I'm that upset that I'm making it long. Okay, we don't need to make that so long. Okay. So this was okay. Okay. So, and I think, why is this is this middle thing? Maybe that's okay. And what happens if we switch it? We still have this problem, but if it's if it's equity first, have a bigger effect than if it's, I would think. Okay, but maybe I'm wrong. And we still have this problem of couple problems. Is this 0.89 maybe? I don't know where the... Looks like it's almost above 1. Who cares? I think let's compute the debt IR. Now what I like to do, and I've done in a lot of other models, is I like to allow for a debt default. But we haven't done that, and I'm not going to do that right now. So maybe we put debt. So let's put debt, cash flows, and we put draws, and then we put debt service, but then we don't forget fees. Okay, so our draws are right up here. We put the, okay, remember we put the debt draws here, our debt funding, and that includes now the effect of the, and the debt service is, it looks like I spelled it wrong. I guess we can just compute the debt service right here. Okay. And then let's get the two things of the fees. Okay. You could almost say, oh, that funding of the DSRA should be part of this, but let's not do that. Okay, this is the upfront fee plus the periodic commitment fee. Okay, and then we can put total. Now, why does it have draws of 9,000? Oh, fuck. What is this? Just a minute. I sure hope I took the wrong number. There are the debt draws, and I did take the wrong number. Ooh, that scared me. So it's this plus this minus. Okay, and then when we have one of these, we have to put a minus 0.0001, and we can put debt IRR equal XIRR. Okay, and this time, you know, it wouldn't, if you have some zeros at the bottom, it doesn't affect the IR. Shift Control P, and we can, I suppose, get the real cash flows. Just like we always do. Okay, and then we just take this one and divide that by where's the, come on, where's the inflation rate? Oh, it's up here. Oops. Okay. Okay. Shift Control P. So then we can put this real one. Come on. Okay. And then we're going to get the after-tax real IR next, and then we'll be finally, no we won't, but we'll be finished with this little IRR section. Okay, so and I'm going to stop the video and then take a little break, because you know, it's hard making these stupid things. So then we put the after-tax cash flows. Now let's get our tax rate, just so we don't have to always look for it. Well, we do. I don't know if it's that beneficial to do this thing I'm doing. Okay, and what we do is the interest and the fees. I guess the fees really were, we could amortize the fees, but essentially, let's get the interest. Oh no, we can do it really precisely here. That's good. So let's get the interest. where's the interest? Here's the interest plus the IDC, and because that's all related to this, I guess it's not exactly, because times the tax rate, if we have this, I'm doing this without the equity bridge loan effect. Why? Okay, so this is the tax shield from the debt, and then we can have after tax debt cash flows. Okay, and then I'm listening to some really interesting thing. I've got my headphones on, listening to French philosopher talk about oh, well, you have to add this. Hang on. What do we do? This is the cash outflows we play. So we take this and we subtract the. We pay less out, and then we put after tax real cash flow. Okay, we can just take this and divide it. Let's go finally look for our inflation index. Okay. Why did that okay, maybe, just a formatting issue. So let's put debt after tax debt IR equal X. You know, I'm feeling guilty that a lot of times when I've computed the debt IR before, after tax, I don't know if I've included that effect of the, did I put maybe minus 0.0000000000001? And what did I do? This is the no, I can't do that. Okay, so that's our after-tax IRR. That's all we're paying. And then finally, let's do the real one after tax. Okay, and we put equal XIRR, and I hope minus 0.001 enough. Oh shit! Oh, come on! What did I do? Okay, what did I do? Oh, okay. After tax ditch. Okay, so let's just pause this for a minute. Okay, I found a little mistake. When I repaid the the equity bridge loan, I didn't include the interest capitalization in the very last period, and that screwed me up. So it took me a long time to kind of get that. Now let's put the after-tax debt IRR. Oh no, it's still wrong. Oh no, maybe not. In real terms, it's not much more than inflation, okay? And now I guess I had enough with the equity bridge loan. Somehow we had enough to do this. So let's put our sources and uses just below here, and let's put let's put interest capitalized. And put an equal sign and go to the equity bridge loan. Where's my equity? Oh, come on. Okay. Well, the only good part about this is hopefully hopefully the quality of the video is a little better. It's really embarrassing that I kind of had such bad quality in the other ones. But I just have to get out of the hotel room sometimes. And then let's put a true up here for the equity bridge. Oh, come on. If we take out the edge alone. Oh, I forgot to put the true and the false in the equity bridge loan, so I'll do that, and then how about we'll end this video, okay? Come on, so the equity bridge loan, if we, hopefully we can just if we turn this off, they're just the same, okay? Cool, okay. It doesn't really affect, you can see a tiny little effect of the tax. If we capitalize the interest, or we don't capitalize the interest, we have to resolve the debt. That's why it's causing a little bit of an issue. But otherwise, it should produce virtually no difference in the effect. Okay. So enough of that. Let's make this.